You wake up at 6 a.m., check your phone, go to work for 8 hours, come home, watch something, go to sleep. Now imagine doing none of that. No alarm, no office, no screen. Just you, a group of people, and the world around you. That was the life of a prehistoric human, and science has discovered something surprising about it. In many ways, it was not as hard as we think. Here is the first thing that will shock you. Prehistoric hunter-gatherers spent only 3 to 5 hours per day on survival tasks, hunting, gathering food, making tools, maintaining shelter. That's it. In total, at between 15 and 40 hours per week. You probably work more than that right now. Anthropological research comparing modern humans to hunter-gatherer societies still living today in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia found that these people meet all their basic needs in less time than the average modern worker spends at their desk. And the food they found was more nutritious than most of what we eat today. A wide variety of plants, animals, nuts, berries, and roots. No processed food, no sugar, no additives. A prehistoric human did not wake up to an alarm. They woke up before dawn, typically when the temperature dropped to its lowest point of the night. Not because of light, because of cold. Research on modern hunter-gatherer groups found that temperature, not sunlight, was the primary signal to wake up. They did not rush. There was no commute. The first hours of the day were typically calm, eating leftover food from the night before, talking, preparing tools. In societies where men hunted and women gathered, and research shows women provided 60 to 80% of the group's food, the day began with planning. Who goes where? What was spotted yesterday? Where the water sources are? Modern comparison. You wake up, check notifications, rush to work. They woke up, talked to their group, and moved at the pace the day required. Hunting was not something that happened every day. In fact, a successful hunt could take days. One famous anthropological film documented a group of sand hunters spending 13 days tracking a single animal, but most daily food came from gathering, not hunting. Plants, fruits, roots, insects, eggs. Gathered mostly by women and children, done within a few hours. Men hunted, but hunting was unpredictable. Some days they came back with meat, many days they didn't. The group survived on what the gatherers brought back. This is important. Prehistoric humans did not spend all day working to find food. They found what they needed and stopped. Modern comparison, we work 40-plus hours per week to earn money to buy food that someone else grew, processed, packaged, shipped, and stocked on a shelf. They walked to where food was and picked it up. After food was secured, the afternoon was largely free. Research suggests prehistoric humans spent several hours each day in activities that had nothing to do with survival, socializing, making art, cave paintings, carvings, beadwork, playing with children, making and repairing tools, storytelling. This was not wasted time. It was the foundation of human culture. The social bonds formed in these afternoon hours determined who you could trust during a hunt, who would share food with you during a bad season, and who would protect your children. Social connection was survival. Modern comparison. After work, we scroll through social media, a simulation of the social connection our brains still desperately need. When the sun went down, prehistoric humans did not go to sleep. They gathered around fire. Fire was not just for warmth. It was the center of prehistoric social life. Research shows that daytime conversations among hunter-gatherers were mostly practical. Food, logistics, planning. But firelight conversations were completely different. They were about stories, dreams, the supernatural, other people, memories. Researcher Polly Wiesner found that 80% of nighttime fire conversations were stories, compared to only 6% during the day. Fire extended the day. It created time that didn't exist before, time for imagination, for culture, for identity. Some researchers believe that fire, and the storytelling it enabled, was one of the key forces that made humans human. Modern comparison. We replaced the fire with a screen. We still gather in the evening. We still want stories, but we consume them passively instead of creating them together. Here is one of the most surprising findings in modern sleep research. Most people assume prehistoric humans slept more than we do. No artificial light, no screens, no late-night distractions. They must have slept 9 or 10 hours. Right? Wrong. A UCLA study tracking 3 separate hunter-gatherer groups across different continents found that prehistoric humans slept an average of just 6.25 hours per night, less than the modern recommended amount of 7 to 9 hours. They went to sleep about 3.5 hours after sunset, not immediately when it got dark. They woke up before dawn. They rarely napped during the day. And here is another surprising finding. They slept more in winter than summer by about 1 hour. Their sleep was regulated by temperature, not light. Modern comparison. We use blue light, caffeine, and alarm clocks to fight our natural sleep patterns. They simply followed temperature and slept less than we think we're supposed to. Modern hunter-gatherer men take between 18,000 and 19,000 steps per day. Women take around 11,000. The average adult in the United States takes about 5,000 steps per day. Prehistoric humans were not doing structured exercise. They were not going to the gym. They simply moved constantly as part of daily life, walking to water, carrying food, building shelter, tracking animals. This level of movement had a direct effect on physical health, sleep quality, and mental health. Researchers found that hunter-gatherers had significantly lower rates of age-related chronic diseases than agricultural societies that came after them. Heart disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes. These were rare, not because prehistoric life was short, but because the body was being used the way it was designed to be used. Modern comparison. We pay for gym memberships to simulate movement that used to simply be part of living. This one is complicated. Prehistoric humans faced genuine dangers we don't face today. Predators, injury with no medicine, bad seasons with no food. A broken leg could be fatal, but the kind of stress most modern people feel, chronic, low-level, constant stress, was largely absent. There were no deadlines, no mortgages, no performance reviews, no social media comparisons. Research suggests that hunter-gatherer societies had remarkably flat social structures. No bosses, no hierarchy of wealth. Food was shared equally. Decisions were made together. This does not mean prehistoric life was easy or peaceful, but the psychological profile of stress was fundamentally different. Their stress came in short, intense bursts, and then ended. Ours never ends. Prehistoric humans worked less than we do, slept about the same, moved far more, ate better, and spent more time on genuine social connection. They lived shorter lives on average, mostly due to injury, infection, and childbirth, not because of lifestyle disease. The irony of modern life is that we have eliminated most of the dangers they faced and replaced them with a different kind of difficulty, one that our bodies and brains, still running prehistoric software, were never designed for.